The reason we started this campaign is because this man, Governor Gavin Newsom, was sitting up there at the French Laundry restaurant with lobbyists who contributed to his campaign, with the people who drafted the mandates that they were violating by not wearing masks, by not engaging in social distancing, while telling you to do it. Meanwhile, his own kids were enjoying in-person private education. Now, he incurred a $12,000 wine tab. No, I don't know what they ordered, but I bet you it wasn't Mad Dog 2020. Crime up. Crime up. 41% in LA, and I'm talking about shootings, homicides. Under this governor, 20,000 convicted felons were released early. What could possibly go wrong? The other day, former Senator Barbara Boxer was mugged in Oakland. You're not cheering for Barbara Boxer being mugged, are you? This is a rough crowd. It's a rough crowd. Also, I wanted to give some love to Arnie Steinberg. Arnie Steinberg, my strategist. Arnie, you were brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Also, Jenny Sand is here. Jenny, without you, I probably wouldn't have run. Jenny Sand, Pastor Jack Hibbs. Dennis Prager. And again, my chairman, Lionel Chatwin, all of whom advised me to run. But ultimately, I decided to run because I felt that I could do something about the crime. I could do something about the homelessness. I could do something about the fact that California has now hit $800,000 average price of a home. That's 150% above the national average. Outrageous because of the stranglehold the environmental extremists have had over Gavin Newsom and have had over Sacramento. Love you more. We have 5 seasons in California now. The 5th one is fire because of the poor forest management. Outgoing Governor Jerry Brown had a plan to clear 500,000 acres of fallen trees, dead trees, and dry vegetation. And our governor claimed that he cleared 90,000 acres, which would have been a drop in the bucket if it were true, but it wasn't. According to the LA Times, he only cleared 13% of what he said he would, which meant he exaggerated by a factor of 7. You know, before the pandemic, half of all 3rd graders in our government schools could not read at state levels of proficiency. Half. And those levels are low. Math scores even worse. 75% of black boys could not read at state levels of proficiency. Math scores are even worse. Because I care about this, I've been called the black face of white supremacy. We're running out of water in California. We haven't added to our water infrastructure in 40 or 50 years when the state was half its size. It's not like voters don't know what to do. We passed bond measure after bond measure after bond measure for more reservoirs, to raise dams, for more underground water storage, and yet the water drains right out into the Pacific Ocean. There is a desert nation in the Middle East. It's called Israel. Because of desalination, they are now water self-sufficient. They got a little body of water next to them called the Mediterranean. We have a little body of water next to us called the Pacific Ocean. We can't figure this out? Rolling brownouts? Are you kidding me? Rolling brownouts. Because we're forcing our utility companies to invest tens of millions of dollars into weather-dependent, unreliable sources of energy called wind and solar. A war on oil and gas. It almost takes an act of Congress to get a permit to drill an oil well or to drill for natural gas. Many of the middle-class jobs